Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 7th Annual Women in the World Summit. And hi, everybody watching on live stream. Wonderful to have you here, too. It's so great to be back on the glorious Lincoln Center stage at such an important time for women. And it was amazing, I thought, to have with us the wonderful Sunita Alizada of Afghanistan, because it's hard to imagine, really, a story that better captures the fault lines of where women are in the world right now. I mean, a female rapper in a country where a resurging Taliban condemns even listening to music. I like her story almost as much as the one that just came out of Brunei. In February, Brunei Royal Airlines launched its first all-female flight crew, and the plane touched down in Saudi Arabia, where women are still not allowed to drive. For every barrier that women are breaking down, there are many more that are intractable, systemic, cultural, and often deadly. In India, it's great that all women military units now march in the country's Republic Day parade, but marital rape is still recognized as a husband's legal right and privilege. In Beijing, the very city where just over 20 years ago, the famous UN Conference of Women heard for the first time the ring of women's rights are human rights, actually, women's rights are in pretty bad shape. In January, the Chinese government arbitrarily shut down the offices of the brave lawyer Guo Jianmei, who for decades tirelessly defended her country's most vulnerable citizens. In El Salvador, in February, a special court was created to try violent crimes against women. But El Salvador is also the country where pregnant women who miscarry are often accused of abortion and imprisoned for homicide. And don't even get me started on the United States. Here it seems that the idea of making America great again is to make us more like El Salvador. And by the way, since 2011, when Texas Governor Rick Perry began signing legislation that ended up closing more than half the abortion providers in the United States, birth rates among poor women have surged 27%, and according to surveys conducted at the University of Texas, at least 100,000 women have tried to self-abort in Texas. I never thought I'd say these words, but perhaps we should be grateful to Donald Trump. I mean, he's shown us how much malodorous misogyny there is still out there in this country. Before, it was easy to imagine that it existed only on the margins, the province of creepy internet trolls. But at least now we can see misogyny's threatening face and hear its ugly voice. And maybe we can vanquish it at last. In the next 3 days at Women in the World, you'll meet more than 100 women from 23 countries. Many of them have faced down far more lethal misogynists than the ones now running for President of the United States. I couldn't be more grateful to the forward-looking organizations out there who share the mission of Women in the World, to give voice not just to the women in the headlines, but the women who live behind the lines of the news. Toyota and Merck are our presenting sponsors, and we're very, very grateful to have them on board. Toyota now is like an extended member of the Women in the World family. Together, we created the Mothers of Invention program that makes it possible for young social innovators to make a measurable difference in the lives of others. For 125 years, Merck has been fighting some of the world's biggest health challenges. Through their 10-year, $500 million Merck for Mothers initiative, they've already improved access to quality maternal health care for more than 5 million women around the world. We're delighted, too, to have Flex, MasterCard, Microsoft, and the Rockefeller Foundation with us as our leadership sponsors. And we couldn't be more thankful, too, for our supporting sponsors, the Ford Foundation, PepsiCo, and Thomson Reuters. We're thrilled this year as well to have with us AARP, the Aidan Dogan Foundation, Land's End, and the Tory Burch Foundation. We're just very proud indeed to be aligned with such a bright constellation. And we're proud, too, of our partnership with the New York Times. And together, we've been able to launch new summits in London, New Delhi, and forums all over the US. We have a vibrant online presence and an engaged social community that grows every day. It's now my privilege to welcome to the stage the first of my Powerhouse Women in the World co-hosts, led this year by South Sudanese fashion pioneer Alec Weck. Thank you.